Here on the Colour of Country Life Flow FM, good to have Andrew Partridge from Michell Wool back with us. How are you, Andrew?
Yeah, very well, Ricky. Very well, thank you.
The auctions might have taken a break, but no break for yourselves at Michell Wool, but you've had a bit of a positive movement, I guess, in terms of your cardings.
Yes, mate, yeah. So all in all, the break was a 3-week break. Sometimes I'm actually one of the naysayers. I'd like to be trading and having options all through, to be honest, so we can get a physical market that shows us what prices are doing. But anyway, the market is what it is, and we have a 3-week break, and back to it this week. Original roster was 60,000 bales. We ended up offering 55. EMI come off 45 cents. We had a bit of a whimper through the break with the currency going up that there'd be a bit of a drop in the Aussie market, and that did happen.
Yeah, we thought that sort of mail around the 3, 4, 5% mark might come off. That's roughly what that 45 cents equates to, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's right. So in US terms, again, with the Chinese, biggest customer buying in US prices, their prices didn't actually change that much with the currency going up. And actually, the EMI expressed in US dollars actually went up 12 cents. So there you go. It went down in 45 in Aussie terms, but it actually went up 12 cents in US on the EMI.
All right, but we saw a lot of bales initially put up on offer because there was the sort of the lull with the market off, but some were pulled back, and we're seeing a few more sort of pulled back going into next week as well.
There is, mate. Yeah, obviously with an adverse market, we do get, it's probably a good thing that's happening in the market when we're a bit hesitant. The Chinese haven't stepped back in yet. Europeans been busy, so all European types actually just are selling really well. If anything, they might have been a bit dearer towards the end of the week. They're going full bore, but yeah, Chinese are just sort of a bit confused at the moment. Obviously, in US terms, their price are going. They're probably expecting a cheaper market, and it hasn't eventuated. So they're just sort of sitting on the sidelines. They'll come back in eventually. Anyone's guess on the street when that might be, but obviously the longer we go, the sooner they'll get back in.
Yeah, sort of. We had expectations. Even the market seemed to have expectations how things would travel with the week with the prices down. But then, the market's already adjusting and covering for that position. So we're seeing a decent amount put up on offer next week, even though it's down from what was being offered. It's still a huge amount going through the sale yards.
Yeah, that's right. So next week's week 7 was originally rossed at 60,000 bales 2 weeks ago. Now it's back to 50. You factor in a pass-in rate like we had this week. Average pass-in rate across Australia was 22%. The West Australians love passing wool in. They averaged about 30. Sydney actually sold about on average, 20-odd%. And we were passing an average of 20% in Victoria as well. So, yeah, taking another passing rate of sort of 20%, I'm guessing, if the market does what the market does, the eventual sold wool won't be as high again, so it'll just carry forward. I think the rosters will drop off a bit the next few weeks coming.
Yeah, is it customary for there to be a bit of heavy pass-in around this time of the year? Looking at last year, looks like it was an even higher pass-in rate at the same time.
This first week's sale out of a break, historically, unfortunately, probably edging towards a down market generally more than an up market, simply because of that break. And as I was saying, I'm a bit of an ace, so I wouldn't mind having a sales just keep going all the way through so we don't get this pent-up supply. And we have physical sales happening all the time, because in US terms, like really, if we had a kept thing going okay, that last sale in week 2, it actually finished okay. And the Chinese were sort of half interested, but as that supply built up, they see that as a negative and they pull back accordingly. So more liquid market for me anyway.
That price went down, but the EMI, but was there a prospect that might bounce back as well?
Just a bit hard to predict at the moment with the volumes on and the Chinese sitting on the sidelines. The market did really historically sat pretty well. Even though it come off in Aussie terms around that 50 to 60 cents, we've got a 21 market indicator at $13 clean. Well, historically, I reckon if you get 1,300 cents for your 21s, historically that's a pretty good price. 19s are sitting at sort of 1,600, 1,650. Historically, that's not a bad price going back over the last 5 or 10 years. So, yes, it's been higher. The price is okay, but we're just waiting for those Chinese to come back, Ricky, so I'm not prepared to make a real big punt at this point in time.
Yeah, it's good to have that longer range perspective as we do across the show on a Friday when it comes to all the other commodities. Is for Aussie sellers, it's actually still over the 5-year average, for instance, generally pretty good prices across the board.
That's right, yeah, except for the crossies. Obviously, they're lulling and getting really tough. We've got a lot of rain-affected wool coming out of that New South Wales corner, so a lot of colour. A lot of unscarable colour coming through, and there's only so much mills can take of that stuff. So the higher spec stuff for Europe, as we just mentioned, is good. Our mill's been flat out busy. Yeah, we topped the market today, this week in cardings, Michelle, at 16% of the offering, and we've been busy making sales all through Europe and so forth. So that side of it's been pretty good. And carting, you do take it. They're a longer range sort of thing, cartings. They're not an up and down sort of market. They just generally sort of move up and down as that time goes on.
We have talked about it quite a lot over the last month here on Flow, and reinforcing Australia remains foot and mouth disease free. But there has been a nervousness about what the market might do about all of the panic or conversation about that. But you didn't pick anything up in the first round of auctions that there might have been a factor there in terms of price movement?
Not at all. Not at all, Ricky. I'm a little bit naive at the moment. I'm sort of sitting 2 rows back at this. So we're a little corner that we delve into. There's been no warnings coming through our business that, get ready for something. So we're business as usual at this point in time. Yes, we're keeping an eye on it like everyone else is, but business as usual for us. And I wouldn't have thought any of our business and inquiry from overseas has been lesser because of the fear.
Yep, that's good news. That's what I thought I'd just check in because I figured that'd probably be the case. Andrew Partridge from Michell Wool, thanks very much for that update as the markets get rolling again on wool.
Thanks, Ricky.